First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Joseph Eng.
Good morning, everybody. 7:12 now, and taking a look at your forecast. About halfway through the work week here, and it's starting to get a little bit lighter outside. You can see that outside in DeRidder. Pretty much calm conditions, though, and the same for South Lake Charles, though some darker clouds are still hanging around. Current temperatures are pretty mild as well. Definitely warmer for those further north of I-10, but the average is still the mid to just barely upper 50s in a few spots, and certainly not cooling off anymore, and have largely sat where they've been for the past almost 4 hours here. It looks like dew points have been up pretty close behind them all morning, so that made it pretty difficult to have any wiggle room. And on top of that is, of course, making it feel quite a bit more humid outside. That has given rise to at least a few patches of thin fog out there, but certainly doesn't look like it's going to be a concern for most of us in our morning commute. And even areas that see it should be pretty thin fog, but nonetheless, it never hurts to take a few extra minutes out the door in case you do run into any slowdowns. But otherwise, satellite and radar is mostly quiet, though there are signs of a few stray little bits of sprinkles drifting over our area. Those are going to be a bit more present throughout the day, just kind of sliding in there in the background, largely due to the loss of high pressure's influence very slowly in our area. And on top of that, a little bit more influence out of the south at the surface. At the mid to upper level, though, there's still going to be plenty of cloud cover to support that activity as well. But the big change today that you'll feel the most is definitely the breeze. It continues to shift and picking up a little bit more. We'll see out of the east to southeast now, and more southerly by the afternoon. You'll see those gusts starting to climb to around 10 to 15 to almost 20 miles per hour in a few spots, especially down by the coastline. And in general, that flow right out of the Gulf is still going to be bringing us lots of moisture to work with. High pressure isn't completely gone, so it'll be hard for any significant showers to pop up, but you may see some brief isolated ones still managing to punch through, particularly by the afternoon as these temperatures slowly rise. It does look like the lack of sunshine is not going to obstruct the gentle warming trend, especially with that more southern flow, and you'll still be pushing the upper 60s to maybe around 70 degrees for a few spots during the heart of the afternoon, especially where you do get some of those pockets of sun breaking through. And again, those rain chances, when I say isolated, I really do mean there's only probably going to be a couple of them, but you may still want to keep an eye on your radar if you do have any outdoor plans. Otherwise, it does stay pretty quiet into this evening, with the big rain chances building up for tomorrow as the cool front shapes up a little further off to our west. Now, models are still expecting this to give us much better access to significantly increased rain chances, to some better coverage there, and with a chance at some scattered thunderstorms as well, largely by Thursday afternoon to evening and some of the nighttime hours, though they mostly have it clearing out by Friday morning. In the meantime, models are still expecting it to be around an inch of rain on average for many areas. And this is in at least one model to her here. We've seen similar things with the GFS, and you could still see some higher amounts where you see those localized heavy downpours, consistent with us being placed under a marginal risk for excessive rainfall. And unfortunately, there is a very low but non-zero risk to see some strong to severe thunderstorms, and that's something we'll be keeping an eye on with now the entirety of southwest Louisiana under that low risk. Now, it really does look like a low one, but something that bears watching, particularly throughout today and tomorrow as the system approaches, but does leave pretty clear conditions for this weekend and a lot of sunshine to make it pretty comfortable to be outdoors if we get a chance to dry out there. Just not only from that rain, but also last week's snow melt certainly left a lot of lawns soggy.
That's true. All right.
Like if you hear that sound.
Get your hard hat and goggles on. OSHA will be around. The contractors are working right outside the door there. So,
that is true.
But we're not going to stand in the way of progress.
That's true.
Sound of progress. Right.
All right. Well, coming up, immunization numbers are steadily decreasing, and we'll have more on that.
It is 7:16.